New data from Equifax Canada and a recent survey of small and medium-sized business owners has shown that significant challenges and concerns may lie ahead for their businesses. Now, we know that the pandemic is still something that many small and medium-sized businesses are recovering from, but most are wondering just how much runway there is on the road to recovery. Joining us now to discuss the challenges facing these businesses in Canada is Mr. Jeff Brown, Head of Commercial Solutions at Equifax. Sir, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Thank you very much for having me.
So if we look at this survey first of small and medium-sized businesses in Canada, what were found to be the major issues they are facing and the percentage? Would you be able to tell us a little bit more about the percentage of these businesses that are struggling?
Yeah, absolutely. So small businesses are up against plenty of challenges right now. I mean, to level set, small businesses operate on very tough margins to begin with. So any small issue really becomes a large issue. So what our survey revealed was that 64% of businesses really have severe cash flow challenges. And 53 really state that they're struggling to access even basic business financing. So with small businesses, they need to be spending money to make money. And really what this data shows is that this may be a bit of a challenge for the road ahead.
So what has led to this sort of complex financial environment for Canadian businesses? Is it just the fallout from the pandemic, or are there more systemic issues at play here?
Well, I think we'd all like to blame the pandemic. I mean, it went on for a few years and we're still seeing a bit of the aftermath, but really there's more things that are happening that are concerning, and primarily around interest rates. So higher interest rates mean that small businesses are electing to kind of leverage their credit cards a bit differently. So in the past, they've been able to access working capital loans at reasonable rates. And when those rates go up, they basically have to divert how they're spending. So they've been basically putting that on credit cards. So we've seen the demand for credit card increase almost 62% here in 2023 for small businesses. So really, we're seeing them kind of kick the can down the road a little bit. And really, they're just trying to potentially buy themselves a bit more time to hope interest rates go down. So it's a bit of a cycle. Small businesses have really small margins, so the cost of capital of really goods go up, and they raise their prices. When they raise their prices, it impacts inflation, so the rate goes up even higher. So just like the pandemic, small businesses are a bit of the victims in this game of economics that's going on in Canada right now.
A lot of economic uncertainty right now, indeed. Now, unfortunately, from the sounds of your recent report, things are about to get much worse, Mr. Brown. So can you tell us a little bit more about what challenges are on the horizon for small and medium-sized businesses?
Yeah, I mean, outside of interest rates, we really see the CEBA loans that went out during the pandemic. So there was 900,000 small businesses that took on about $49 billion worth of interest-free government-backed loans. So those loans are coming due here at the end of next year. But what's really concerning with that too is that only 20% of businesses have paid that back in full. 70% haven't paid it back at all, and only 10% maybe a little bit here and there. But so it's this outstanding debt that small businesses really aren't seeing as a priority right now. So this coupled with the average small business debt increasing by about 22% this year, when businesses fail, they're going to fail faster and harder. So delinquencies are going to be in higher amounts, collections are going to be more aggressive, and really what this says is there's going to be about a surge of insolvencies and bankruptcies here over the next 12 months. So it's really tough to really be a small business right now. So they're trying to be optimistic where they can, but there's a lot of debt that's really outstanding with small businesses right now.
Some very concerning information, Mr. Brown. So how does one go about addressing these issues in the Canadian business landscape? What's missing here in terms of support?
Yeah, so I mean, there was the government update that happened a few weeks back where they're extending the CEBA loans out for another 12 months. But really, it was kind of a double-edged sword, because with that as well, there's about $20,000 or up to $20,000 that a small business can receive as kind of a compensation back for paying these debts back early. So if they can pay these back, that's great. But a lot of small businesses aren't in that position. They're really looking towards kind of the holiday season to be able to make up for some of these shortcomings that they're going through right now. So there is some relief, but not the orders of magnitude that they really need. The CEBA loans aren't a bailout. They were basically meant to be a support mechanism, and the government's really not showing any signs to be able to write these off. Again, it's a large amount, and we don't want that further impacting our interest rates and inflation right now.
Some relief, but not enough, Mr. Brown. Just a quick 30 seconds left here, but if there are some small business owners watching this right now, what would be your advice to them?
I mean, really just make sure the debts that you're taking on, you have a full understanding of what that means. Anything that you can take on to pay down those debts is great, but as long as you're thinking long term. I know a lot of small business owners are looking towards the holiday season as a bit of optimism. And really, what I would say to any of us consumers right now is while money's tight and we're really conservative with our spending, is we have to send it towards small businesses. So make every dollar count and really be thoughtful with dollars that are being spent. So the Canadian economy is rallying around small businesses, but they have to remain optimistic as they can, but really don't take on more debt than you can take on.